G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, you are here today because you know I am a very proud New South Welshman. And to my surprise, and I guess little bit of joy, that old mates in North Wales actually did a pretty good job tonight against the Irish and put up a very, very, very respectable result against the reigning, defending Six Nation champions that many believes to be gonna be winning another Grand Slam this year. And yeah, they did it with just a little change to their team, right? Warren Gatland gone, out with the old ideas, out with the box kicking, out with the let's just ran everybody down the middle of the field like Ireland does, and to like no avail, right? And then brought in some new ideas, some old experience. They brought in Gareth Anscombe, they brought in, you know, a 10, and then they put, you know, instead of trying to pigeonhole Ben Thomas to the 10 position, put him at 12, gave him more space, made him feel a bit more comfortable around the park. They brought in new props. Will Griff-Jones, absolute machine tonight, and then just a little bit of change like that, stabilize the scrum. I think they actually, you know, we're going to have a look at the scrum in a minute because it was a very fascinating battle. I think a lot of people might think that Wales won the battle, but I think, yeah, there's a lot of dark arts. There's a little bit of interpretation I think might be changing towards the way that the referees adjudicating the scrummaging. And then, yeah, Wales definitely got out in front in terms of getting some of those penalty calls in the scrummaging there. And finally, just yeah, playing a different style, having the ball go much wider for the entire game. And then instead of just stupid box kicks all night, grubber kicks down the sideline just to shovel things up a little bit. And just yeah, make that kicking game a little bit more unpredictable. Really caused a lot of problems to the Irish, and putting the Irish in a position where they're really uncomfortable. You can tell the Irish team was taking penalty goals when, you know, normally they probably wouldn't. Even against England, the Irish team was more adventurous. We went for the lineouts more than they did against Wales tonight, and you know that shows you how much the Irish were out of the comfort zone. They were clamoring to get points, to settle down their nerves at times. And yeah, there was also pretty controversial stuff this game. There was a red card to Gary Ringrose tonight, and we're gonna have a look at that in a minute as well. My initial thought was that yes, it could probably a red. Depends on the TMO's interpretation, but I do think that was probably a little bit hard. If Gary Ringrose had gone in and had his head, you know, maybe bent a little bit to the side, and then the head collision happened, looked like he actually tried to avoid the head, I think it would have been a yellow. But the fact that he just went in straight head on head, I think my initial thought was this could be a red, and turned out it was a red. We'll have a look at that in a minute as well. And finally, the Welsh had a try scraped off of him at the end of the game. Ellis Mee, is that his name? I don't speak Welsh, I'm sorry. It looked like he placed the ball short and then rolled it over the try line. So there's a couple of law interpretations there we're going to have to talk about there as well. I'm going to go through the video. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But first, I've been waiting to talk about this for you know, as soon as the game ended, I want to talk about it. It's the battle of the scrummaging. This was absolutely fascinating, this game. They went back and forward both ways. So this was the first scrum of the game. And like, I was expecting Ireland to just completely blow this one out because Andrew Porter has been quite good, quite outstanding. He likes, like we talk about this a lot, he likes the ball in, get the long grip, and then he can see he's already going at an angle, and then he tries to either force the scrum down, or he tries to, you know, force you to go up and then pop you out by going underneath you. So he's already got an angle here. He's got a bit of almost got his shoulder tucked behind the hooker there, and let's see what happens here. He goes in an angle, the scrum goes down, and the referee initially said it was an Irish short arm, but the referee on the far side indicated that Porter was boring in and putting the hinging, right? He's pulled the scrum down. We can't see, so he went like this with his elbow, meaning that he's pulled the scrum down. He's indicated that Porter's pulled the scrum down, and in fact, Porter's elbow probably hit the ground first and caused the penalty. So that's something that I talk about every week, that Porter does this. He kind of like, yeah, pulls the scrum down, it hinges, going in a bit of angle, and then pulls the scrum down, and sometimes his elbow goes down first. And the elbow is really important. We'll have to look at that in a minute, because the ironically, the Welsh is doing the same thing on the loose set side. So let's have a look at this other move here. So on this side, you can see that the Welsh actually did the exact same thing and got away with it. So yeah, he's putting the scrum down. He's going in an angle here, the Welsh loose head here. And the call goes against Ireland. This should be a call. This is actually exactly what Porter was doing on the other side. And the referee actually made the wrong decision here, I believe. And because the very next scrum, the referee positioned himself on the loose head side, and you can see right here already, the referee's touching his elbow, saying that don't put the scrum down, keep it up. You can see right here already. Referee's put his hand literally on the elbow, and he did the exact same thing. He went in an angle, right? The loose head prop on the Welsh side, right? You can see the referee already indicating to get your elbow up because you're putting the scrum down. And look, his elbow is still pointing down. He's putting the scrum down and he's going in an angle. This is exactly what Andrew Porter's doing. And Porter's actually stopped here. He's actually learned what that the referee is looking for this. And then he goes straight through at an angle, goes down, and the referee's like, nope, you're boring in, you're putting the scrum down. I literally tried to keep your elbow up. You did not do so. And that's a penalty to Ireland, right? And finally, you might be asking me, what should you do? Right? What should you do in this situation? And the Irish team did really well in this scrum here. So like I said, if the prop, especially on the if you know, some people were saying, oh, okay, sometimes it's not. Yeah, so let's go back for this for a second, right? Some people has argued this, that it's not the loose hair prop that's boring in. Some people has been arguing with me that this is actually the tight hair prop from the Ireland side that's boring in, and the loose hair prop has nowhere to go except to kind of follow him. There's an argument. That is an argument that people has been telling me, that it's actually the tight hair prop going in. The loose hair prop is just following through what the tight hair prop. So people say, oh, it's the tight hair prop going in, and the loose hair prop is just following him through. And it should be the penalty against it. It could be argued for a penalty of tight hair prop, but that's actually not the case, right? What happens is, if the tight hair prop is going in and you keep straight, your head actually pops out, and you should get the penalty for the tight hair prop going in. As you can see in this scrum in the second half, where the Welsh prop went in at an angle, and I think it was Beelum. I think it was Beelum in the second half. Yeah, Beelum just went in straight, and he popped his own head out, and the referee saw what was happening and gave him the penalty. As you can watch it here, right here, right? So here comes engagement, goes in. As the push comes through, the Welsh prop was actually going to be at an angle, and Beelum kept straight. You see, he's actually popped his own head out to the side here because he's actually going in straight. And you see that the tight head prop popped his head out because he was actually going in an angle, and Beelum's pushing him straight on him. And that's how Beelum got the penalty there for Ireland, right? So he just kept on straight. He pushed him. He kind of like pinched him in fact, and basically like squeezed his head out by going in straight and not following through and getting, you know, like what happened, not following through with an angle here, getting himself penalized. So they definitely adjusted at halftime, the Irish team, to what the referee was looking at. And the first half, there was quite a number of penalties going against Ireland. Second half, they actually got that return scrum penalties back to their favor. So really, really well done for the Irish team to adjust to that. And again, this is really, really interesting, I think, for the referee to look at these things. And I think the referee did a really, really good job adjudicating exactly what was happening in the scrum. So really, really, really good. This is probably like the best scrum referee I've seen in like a very, very long time. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Ben O'Keefe could be better. Maybe, I think Ben O'Keefe might be the only one that I think could be slightly better than this, but that was very, very well done, picking up these little things by the referee there. And then we want to talk about the try by me, right? Let's go have a look at this one. So it's really interesting. So there's only one angle we need to look at, which is the side angle. So it's really interesting. So the law says if you're going for the try and if there's no separation, in this case here, there's no separation, his hand's still touching the ball. As long as you put the ball on the ground and with a little bit of pressure, it's a try, right? You don't have to actually be holding on to the ball. You just have to be in touch with the ball, which is correct. But the number one thing here is that only applies if you're going for the try. So if you just did this while you are not going for a try, it's actually a knock on. So the referee is actually correct. This is actually knock on because the ball failed to reach the try line when he essentially lost, the grip onto the ball. He only had a couple of fingers on the ball, which is he still has contact, but because of the fact that he's short, he's not actually considered going for the try. He's actually knocked the ball on. That's number one. Number two, because he's short of the try line, his right elbow is actually on the ground outside the bound here. So he's also out of bound when the ball is not even over the try line. So even if you think that, hey, it's okay that he grounded the ball and then rolled it over with momentum, his left hand elbow is still on the ground out of bounds. So he's still out. So either way, it should not be a try. But the thing is, the referee actually made the right decision despite what the TMO was saying. Yes, it's still contact to the ball, but because he's short, he's not actually scoring a try at that point. So he's actually just knocked the ball on. And the referee is like 100% correct on that. And finally, let's have a quick look at the red card to what's his name? To Ringrose. Let's have a look at that. My initial thought, I think this is a pretty quick one. We're just gonna quickly have a look at this and get on with it. Here it is. Just have a quick look at this and look at this. My initial thought was that what happened here? Why is it not showing? My initial thought was that this could have been a red card immediately. That's my initial reaction. He's ran in. Yes, he's low. Both players are dropping, but he's upright with his head, and then he's collided into Thomas. Is that Thomas? Is his name Thomas? Ben Thomas. Yeah, he's collided into Ben Thomas, and his head is upright. If he had actually bent his head a little bit, looking like he's trying to get out of the way, I think it would have been a yellow sufficient. But it really comes down to how the TMO interprets this. Like, to be honest, my initial thought was this could be a red. So yeah, yes, I've seen TMOs saying that he's dropped down on his knees, the player's ducking as mitigating factors to reduce this. But for me, it was a head-on-head, pretty straight on, and he could have avoided if he had, duck his head out to the side a little bit. And I think that a red card, I think the red card is the right call here. There was another incident later on where a Welsh player had an Ireland player ran his head into his chest. I think that's I don't actually know how that works. Hitting someone in the chest. I guess there's no head contact, no shoulder contact. By the law book, that's okay. It's not, you're not hitting someone with the shoulder, hitting someone with your head. By the law book, that's considered, I guess, low danger, and that's just fine. Just play on. I'm actually not too sure about that one. I have to properly look it up because I don't know if you hit someone in the chest, is it just because it's not dangerous at all? Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one, to be honest with you. Anyway, let's have a look at the match stats of the game before I ramble on for another 2 hours. So 2 tries apiece for this game. Is it 2 tries apiece? I thought Ireland scored a bit more. 2 tries apiece. 356 run meters to Wales, to Ireland's 223. So Ireland was under pressure for the most part of the game. 12 turnovers conceded against Wales, 9 against Ireland, 131 against Wales, tackles for Wales, 12 missed tackles. Really, really good defense. Ireland has tremendous defense as well. 32 missed tackles out of 176. The percentage is not that good, but Ireland's defense against the try line was just like a brick wall. It was immaculate. Really, really good. 1 missed goal by Gareth Anscombe from the sideline. 24 kicks from hand. 37 kicks from hand from Ireland. And 3 missed kicks from Prendergast. That's not quite good enough, I think, for the Lions tour. They want him to be a bit higher than that. 1,109 kicking meters. The Irish really dominated the kicking game, whereas the Welsh was a bit more strategic with the kicking game. 638 kicks meters overall. One line out loss for the Welsh out of 19. 2 loss out of 13 for Ireland. 1 scrum loss for Wales out of 3. 2 scrum loss out of 4 for Ireland. So pretty 50-50 in terms of how that scrum went out. 12 penalties considered for Wales, and that's probably ultimately what really hurt them in a really big contest like this. You really need that penalty count to be below 10 if you want a chance to win this. And while Ireland was under a bit of pressure as well, 11 penalties considered, 1 red card, and that was the point where the play in the bin for 20 minutes was the difference, where Wales was able to catch up and stay ahead of Ireland team. Once Bandiaki came on as a substitute, Ireland was able to power through to win the game in the end. Tell me if you like the red card, 20-minute red card or not. After that, I think it's much better than the old red card, because like the Gary Ringrose situation, it's pretty 50-50. And then if that was a full red card, Ireland could have just lost this one right there and then. And this has given Ireland a fair opportunity to come back, because like that sort of situation, it's so 50-50. The game should not have been decided because of something that, could have, a different TMO could have made a different decision, and a different result would have come out of this game, right? And I think that would be a shame to like ruin a team's opportunity to win the Six Nations because of that. So I think that's the 20-minute red card is really, really good because of that as well. Anyway, let's quickly go through the point summary. Don't want to go too much about it. 6 minutes into the game, Ireland was already piling a lot of pressure. Coden got the pass. He had like one of the Welsh players in his hand, pushing away, like just literally ran in the try with the Welsh player holding onto his hand. 7 points to 0. 20 minutes in the game, Ireland got a penalty. They kicked 3 points, 10 points to 0. It was looking pretty bad. 22 minutes in the game, Wales got a penalty right in front of the goalpost. Gareth Anscombe kicked this one to the entire stadium, cheering like they've just won the game, right? Because people were not expecting Wales to do much. 3 points was pretty good, but Wales was doing came out and did much better than that. They had another penalty at 34 minutes into the game to kick another one. So that's 6 points to 10. And then just before halftime, Wales had another penalty right in front of the goalpost. They couldn't kick that. They say we wanted to go for the try. They had the red card at this point. The red card at this point to their favor. Ringrose off the field. So Wales kicked the corner. They went for the line out. They got another penalty. They went for the corner again. And then they just piled in. And the defense was just not breaking from the Irish. But eventually, Jack Morgan, is it Morgan or is it Rogers? Got like help from his teammate, rammed through for the try. 13 points to 10. Wales leading half time. 2 minutes into the second half, Wales was on fire. Absolutely, they spread the ball out wide to the left hand side. Got through a little bit of defense, and then spread it all the way back to the right hand side. And then there was an overlap, a space for. No, I think Rogers is the one that scored. Morgan is the one that's. Yeah, so this is wrong. Morgan's the one that scored before halftime. Rogers is the one that scored in the second half because of the same time, because it was overtime in the first half. Anyway, so Rogers goes into the corner. He jumped in there, dunking in the corner for the try. Beautiful. 18 points to 10. Wales lead. 47 minutes in the game. There was a lot of pressure piled on by Ireland. Gets on a penalty for offside. Kicks 3 points. 18 points to 13. 55 minutes into the game. There was a penalty advantage. Gibson Parks. Crossfield kick. James Lowe. This was a bit too far. James Lowe jumped up, knocked the ball back in field from out of bounds, and Jamie Osborne was right there to snatch it up. The ball went in for the try. 18 points to 18. 66 minutes into the game, another penalty to Ireland to kick this one. 18 points to 21. There was a 50-22 kick by Prendergast as well, which was really well done, getting Ireland a lot of momentum. 69 minutes into the game, there was a penalty for Ireland. That was almost 50 meters out. And Prendergast kicked this one. This was probably the best kick for him for the night. 18 points to 24. 72 minutes in the game. Ellie, Me almost went in for the try. The guy that looks like he's about 12 years old. 77 minutes in the game. There was another penalty to Ireland. And they kicked this one. 27 points to 18. And then Wales was throwing the kitchen sink at Ireland. But that was it. Ultimately, the Irish has been denied a bonus point, I think. And that could come down to be quite interesting coming into the end of the Six Nations, because England was given a bonus point from Ireland. So that could actually come back and haunt the Irish at the end of the day. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about this game. Let me know thoughts about the scrum. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you watching, and have a good one. Cheers.